this week on Nugget Garage, we're going to talk crap about this thing and what happened to it and what it needed.
And other stuff.
And other stuff and things.
Yeah.
And things about stuff and stuff about things, etc. We actually got a lot of stuff to talk about, and it involves you guys.
As you can tell, the last 3 kind of stretched out videos meant that we kind of didn't do anything for the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, sucked out a little bit.
So I knocked that KE10 out pretty fast and I was over it for a little bit. And then work changed, staff changed, things got a bit hectic, so no time.
So anyway, Supra, we'll get into this one first and cover this. With what happened to it, as you saw, the gearbox got very un-gearboxy. So that was turned out to be converter.
Converter looked like a bomb had gone off inside of it. It's all sandblasted with its own internal bits.
Yeah.
All the needle rollers fell out of the Torrington bearing, and
yeah, it was very burny.
And that, well, snowboard created heat and put metal into the gearbox, so it destroyed pretty much everything other than the planetary in the gearbox. So Kip built me another box, cost me about 1,600 in parts or something from the US. Put it back together. James Horan built me a bolt together converter, did it in a week. So this has actually been back out again and at Lakeside again since.
Yeah, we actually took it out there. Actually went for the first ride. Got the boost in it.
Works pretty good.
It's freaking quick.
Yeah.
It is.
We put it back together and it still had ridiculous temperatures. It was getting to like 120°C trans temp just going around the block, which baffled us for a bit. We actually changed the valve body thinking that it might have been holding 2 gears together or something and dragging. We put PWR oil coolers in the front, big ones off Golby's. Still got hot, and turns out that you actually have to force air through them for them to work.
Yeah,
so it made some little diverter plates, and now it sits on like 70 degrees on the highway.
Yeah, it actually almost doesn't get hot enough.
Put a new radiator in it because my old shroud ate the other radiator core out and put a big hole in it. Yeah. So it's got a Mishimoto from Golby's in it as well. Sealed the fan to it, and we actually drove out to Lakeside in fairly decent heat with the aircon on.
Yeah,
with stuff that was at normal temperatures.
Yeah, it was good.
Sort of.
It's actually
for a change.
A cool, reliable street car with
so it's doing street machine, not the road trip drag challenge. This weekend, and Chris's VL is as well.
Yeah.
So we're not going to film that because it's same as what you just seen.
Maybe overtaking the lane or film it.
Yeah, possibly. And we're once again stuck at running no faster than 1050s in the quarter.
Yeah.
In fact, Willowbank's being a real about it. Can't say that. A dictatorish group about it, where they reckon if you run 1049 even, they're going to kick you from the event, which it's ridiculous. So me and Chris figured we're just going to run like 1.5-minute passes just to be safe.
Yeah.
Just do like 10 or 15 of them.
Just
yeah.
idle down there.
Just stink up their event a little bit. We actually, in our group, there's about 5 cars that are all 1,000-ish horsepower that can't run faster than 1050s.
Yeah. So actually, we'll be doing that by the time these people see us doing this.
Possibly. Yep.
So anyway, so that's done, sorted.
Yeah, this chapter's done now. You don't have to see any more red stuff.
No, it's finished, it's reliable. I don't know, we might steal somebody's footage and if it runs a number, but other than that, I'm not going to film it. I'm just going to go out and enjoy the event.
Yep.
And then, where we're going, K20. What's happening? Updates, K20, because everyone asks about the K20 thing.
So the reason why you're not seeing it at the moment is there's a fair bit of work that's been farmed out. A friend of mine, he's actually got the hanging panels, doors, guard, boot, they're all in bare metal.
Yeah.
So it's actually going to get painted over Christmas, the whole car. So
It's going to be a fantastic looking.
yeah, this is going to be the version 4 car, so it's the final version. Not doing it after this.
It's kind of snowballed a little bit.
Yeah, we found one rod that needed a little end bush resized, and the crank needs linishing. So instead of doing that, I kind of spent a lot of money on a Nitto stroker kit.
Yeah.
So it's now going to be a 3.3 litre. Basically, we were looking at what I had, and if I pulled parts out of that old alcohol engine, they were kind of useless for anything else. So I decided to put that motor back together and have it on the stand, complete, minus cams, and then build a completely fresh engine, which
so it's going to be...
Golby hooked me up with some decent pricing, otherwise no way in the hell I could afford that.
Yeah, so 3.3 Nitto stroker, obviously all rods, pistons.
Yeah, Nitto rods, JE pistons. We went back to 7/16 head studs.
Yeah, because it used to be half-inch.
Half-inch, and it kept cracking between the head stud hole and the water galleries. So back to the CA625 head studs. With the stupid JZ prices, it was cheaper to buy a brand new head from Toyota.
Yeah.
Which is bloody cool. It's hard, never been hot.
Yeah.
The machine's really nice. Kip's gone and machined that. Actually, KRE did the valve seats and like some sort of pocket port. Kip's hand ported it. It's got proper valves in it now that can actually handle the heat, like Inconel valves and nitrided valves from a Supertech. Should be a good thing.
Yeah, so it's going to be a pretty full-on thing.
The power glide's been rebuilt into an SFI case, so no more blankets.
Yep, and what do you got? TCE converter or something for that?
TCE converter.
And then Nexus too.
Yeah, we've got the Nexus. I've got back to a Corolla Dash, IC7. The interior will get a bit of a birthday.
Yeah.
I was going to put some more bars in it, but I've since found out that possibly IHRA is making that mandatory SFI middle cagey bit.
Yeah, okay.
If you want to run faster than 850.
Yeah,
and that's within the next 2 years.
Oh.
Which means we won't have fast street cars anymore, because we can't drive funny car cage floor bar crap on the road in Australia.
Yeah, you can't have that over here.
So I might even retire the car before then.
Yeah.
It's just kind of sad. Yeah.
So that'll be fun. It'll be a cool thing, but snowballs cost money, so it's going to be a little while away.
Yeah, as soon as you start outsourcing stuff, it becomes
suspension stuff too.
Manageable. Yeah, that's it. I've bought split monoleafs and sliders and AFCO shocks and new Caltrax, and it's all a huge amount of waiting time, parts coming in, people measuring stuff. It's just not something at the moment I can manage and make content on, because I don't know where the hell it's going to be.
Yeah.
And when it's going to be there.
So it will happen one day, probably next year.
Yeah, I reckon in January we'll have everything back in one place, and then we'll just do a series.
Put a bit together,
Yeah.
From there, so obviously that one's not happening yet, so the next project's kind of where you guys come in.
Yeah, we're going to do a poll, I think.
Yeah.
Because I've got about 5 or 6 different cars that we could do, and I need to sort of figure out whether you can stomach the same shit over and over, or whether you want something different.
Hence not filming Drag Challenge.
Yeah.
You just had 3 weeks of that crap.
Yep.
So the first one we'll talk about is Kevin.
Kevin, we can actually pretty cheaply build. I just touched my beard, wasn't what I was supposed to do. We can pretty much make that a 9-second car for not a lot of money.
Kevin's.
I was pretty impressed that it did what it did 10 times in a row. So. Really want to see it.
Head gaskety / possibly piston ring leg.
So we'll find another L67 short.
Yeah, L67 short.
Use the same heads, cams, not different cam.
We've got a cam package for it, cam valve springs. Don't know if we should send it on the first turbo, on the same turbo first, and see what it goes, and then maybe step it up to a 42.
No, I reckon it's 42.
Just go straight to 42.
There's a reason to keep it V6. It's kind of different at the moment. Street Machine guys are also building a V6 one.
Yeah.
So I'd like to keep it around just if they want to have a run or
so
something.
we can beat them.
And then Dane still doesn't realise the manual is shit, so
Yeah.
if we can just keep stinking up his car with that, that'd be fun.
Actually, Dane's actually got the PV in that car.
If you don't want to see that, don't vote for it.
Yeah. So.
And what's the next one?
And then there's Barry, but Barry's pretty well done. Barry's stuffed.
Barry's going to take money to make it run faster, and then realistically, that engine's way past where I thought it would go.
Barry's, it was a $1,300 budget thing, which then went to E85 and injectors, and I use this like $2,000, but it's done. The gearbox is slipping.
Yeah.
It's out of power.
It ran a messy 11.7 with multiple power cuts and gearbox slips, so it probably could run a 10, but I'd have to spend money on a box.
And it's not worth pursuing. So Barry's probably going to end up being a new Kia or something. Might just pull the motor and
Chris has this retarded desire to go drifting, and he has some white piece of shit ute ordinary piece of shit ute. So I refused to touch it if he was going to run it stock with a locked diff, which is what he was going to do. But if we can use Barry's parts in the ute, somewhat interests me.
We ran Barry stock first, and you liked it. I couldn't get out of the bloody thing.
If you've got a drift hard ute with shitty turbo at the bonnet and stuff, it'd be quite funny.
It would be funny.
Yeah. And the gearbox won't, well, the clutch might slip, but.
Yeah. So
and we can put it on the hub dyno with a manual and break the internets with the most powerful stock rod BA engine ever. Yeah,
what the,
I don't know, it'd probably go 550 with a manual.
Somebody's got some ridiculous mainline dyno.
Anyway, that's a crappy idea, don't vote for that one.
Yeah.
What's the third one?
And then next one, well, we got Suzuki van. I've got a Suzuki van because little Suzuki vans are cool.
Yeah, Chris's rate vans were picking up the bigger, larger women, so he went and bought a smaller van. So trying to get the small. That's what the idea was, wasn't it? No. Anyway, for some stupid reason, he bought a Suzuki carry van.
Cool. They are cool. See?
And what's it got in it? An APV Suzuki?
So it's got a 2005 Suzuki APV 1.6 litre fuel injected motor in it. It was bought off a mate. It runs and drives, but it's an unfinished project.
It's too loud, so it needs a turbo.
Yeah,
Shut it up.
It needs a muffler on it, so a turbo seems ideal.
Yeah. Of course, then that will just snowball into the clutch is not good enough, the diff is crap.
Yeah, no,
could be funny. It'll probably fall on its side. That's the plus.
It might do.
Yeah.
But
toasted down.
Those little wheelies.
It does.
Like little ones if you and some other fat guy get on the back.
All right, so that's the third option. What's the fourth?
And then from there, well, there is, what else we got? RX7.
Yeah, I got this RX7 that's...
RX7 shell.
It's got an IHRA approved cage in it and a Hilux diff, and the diff needs a bit of work. I've got to weld some stuff up on it. But it's set up for a 1UZ, which is another 1UZ, which you're probably not going to be interested in.
You want to see another 1UZ?
We could go and buy a Sora for $1,000. I reckon I can put that driveline into it with a valve body and we could run 9s. Turbo. Yeah. Turbo. So it'd be under 10 grand. Take the car into the 9s. Yeah. But it's another 1UZ and yeah. Or this is like an option B version C option B of the pole. Yeah. I do have a 1.5 JZ. It makes about 1,000 horsepower.
Which was going to go into another project.
And an A340. That could go into the RX7 and that would definitely make it a cool, interesting car.
It would be. It would.
Yeah.
It would be
and
pretty quick.
We'll just get Wogboy 2 plates for it. No?
Yeah, boy.
Wogboy 2?
Wogboy 2 plates.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. There's a bit of work in that one. I've probably got everything to do that car because it needs.
Oh, you want T51R.
It needs ECUs and I've got all that.
Kevin needs a T51R.
Kevin can't handle a T51R. It's a gold nut, bro. It's 1,000 horsepower.
Oh, that's too good. And then what else have we got? So maybe RX7, 2 versions of RX7. Jesus, it's going to be a long poll too.
Grandpa, Grandpa's been patiently waiting. The 1GZ sitting there waiting.
It's getting smoky. Like
There is. And the air conditioning's getting really rubbish.
Yeah, that's.
What are you doing, Grandpa? It's not going to do at all. And those guys in WA, the W2F Auto guys, they're going spastic doing all this CNC over the top crap with their 2,000 horsepower 1GZ thing.
Yeah.
So I figure we can just knock one out and stink up their thing.
Yeah.
No, they reckon the stock rods aren't good for any more than like 350 at the tyres, but there's 12 of them. Surely I can get it to go 500.
Stock rods in a BA couldn't do any more than 300 too.
So of course it'll be turbocharged.
Yeah. Single turbo.
Single turbo. Another thing was we pretty much have everything for that car here as well, so it wouldn't cost anything. Whether you're interested enough in a V12 turbo
V12 and a Cressida
that doesn't rev past 6,000
with aircon.
With
that
aircon.
Sounds like Kevin.
Sounds like two Kevins in a row.
At the same time. It's like Kevin's in unison.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Scott from Next Level did it in a
GS300. Yeah.
And it sounded like arse.
Turbo and combined banks should
Turbo hopefully change it. Yeah. Might sound. It sounds good on the starter motor.
There's a Suzuki Swift GTI next door.
Oh yeah.
You've probably seen.
That's on too, yeah.
I'm supposed to be building it for my missus, but she annoys me, so we might build it into something else.
I don't think you should say that on camera.
She's alright.
Hi Sarah.
Yeah. So we could do that. That's basically just going to have to bring it into the 2020s.
What would you do with that, mate?
I've got an Elite for it.
Circuit stuff.
I reckon try and it's a build engine. You could do circuit, you could do drag, whatever.
Cool.
It's wrong wheel drive, which is going to frustrate the hell out of me. But yeah.
And then there's another car in the GTI corner as well, but I think we'll leave that one till later.
Yeah, that's another whole video.
That's a whole different series.
And then that's a whole lot more input and actually participation from people.
Yeah, we'll leave that one.
Yep. And the last thing on the chopping board, I guess, is I have a KE11 at home.
Oh, yeah.
We just did one of them, but I've got a lot of mates that play around with 3RZs. So I figure we don't have a turbocharged 4 at the moment.
We will if we do the thing, but that doesn't count.
That's not even a real engine. So I could do a 3RZ KE11 with an A340 and a Hilux diff. So Toyota. There's actually a guy in Queensland, Robbie Butler, who does that combo, and it runs into the 8s, which is pretty cool.
And it's a bloody nice car too.
Yeah. Oh, it's the tidiest crawler you've ever seen. But
so there's a lot of
But I'm also kind of building one of them as well anyway, in the 20, so it'd just be much of the same.
Yeah, so it's going to be much the same with a 1.5 JZ, may as well do a 3RZ.
Well anyway, so now I've thoroughly confused myself and you and everybody else.
So we can.
We'll try and.
So there's going to be Kevin version A or B.
Yeah.
There's the RX7 version A or B.
Yep.
There's
the
KE20.
The Driftard Ute.
There's the Driftard Ute.
No.
And there's GTI. There's the van with the turbo. There's a lot of options. This is a long pole.
We do have a Christmas party coming up too, and we could probably build something kind of like Gary-ish for it.
Out of what?
I don't know. I've got a golf buggy.
It's electric, dude. Put big batteries into this one.
All right, we'll stick to that 5, 6, whatever options.
Yeah. So we'll put a poll in, which is in the...
We'll do it in YouTube, actually. I think you can do it on YouTube now.
Yeah, so I think there's a community section or something.
Maybe.
You scroll over, playlist, community section or some junk like that. Click on that, and there'll be a poll in there, and you can vote on stuff.
It'll be a fairly short poll too. Like I need to know in 2 days from when this video comes out. So, because we don't have anything filmed.
No, we've got nothing for next week.
So I need to get into it, get something done.
Hurry up.
Get it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either that, or you'll be watching us stand here and talk crap again for another week. Which is a possibility.
All right. So
get
through 2 more days. We'll do this drag challenge.
And,
not have to carry cameras around, actually have some fun.
Yeah, go and have some fun.
And
I
then,
don't know who's filming that, but if anything special happens, no doubt somebody will film it. I think Dave's going to be there, and then the other Dave might be there.
so the 5 or 6 cars we're with, if we make it to Sunday and everything's running, that's probably the day to come and film that. Because we can't get kicked out if it's already over. So
Yeah. I might actually push the trans brake up.
yeah, see what happens.
All right.
All right.
See you next week, or not. Don't say it. Don't say it. We should mention the front wheel drive challenge.
No, I don't do that yet.
We'll have to,
Grandpa 1GZ, KE11, 3RZ.
3RZ?
Yeah, may as well. The J's going to be massive in a day. It's going to be too big.
Yeah. It is already cut.
Which means we have a spare 1.5 J for the RX7. That'd be an easy combo. That'd be straight into a low 9-second car.
Oh, Kevin.
Fuck Kevin. The alcohol engine
Don't
can,
you talk like that.
the alcohol engine can tear Kevin a new arsehole when it's ready. It will.
You're driving that shit.
I'm not driving it. You're driving it.
I'm not driving it. You're the experienced you. I've never run a 7.
You just got to drop
done
on.
multiples.
You just got to drop on the ground and roll because no one can see the fire, and you can feel it.
You're not on fire, Cole.
Yeah. You got to go up to them and show them your skin bubbling. Look, put me out.
I'm on fire. You're not on fire, Cole.